What's up, everybody? My name's Chris Marshall with my boy, Frank G. We are the hosts of Build Your Empire podcast. Frank G, tell the people what we do.
What's going on, everybody? Chris and I, we discuss established empires while we showcase us building ours.
Catch us every Monday and Thursdays, 2 different days, 2 different shows. Thursdays, we go over pre-established empires. And on Mondays, it could be random. We could have random guests on the show, Frank. We could just have random conversation. We could have specific targeted conversation. And here we are. And we had a good show planned.
Very good show. It seems a couple times we've had to pivot on a Monday show before.
Well, yeah, that's because when you're doing podcasts or I guess any sort of media where you're semi-dependent on a guest, well, now they have leverage when it comes to timing and scheduling.
Yeah, I mean, we are incredibly flexible. We'll shoot the episode 5 days before it even releases if that's convenient for you. But when you're filming, when you're the guy trying to get someone on, yes, you have to be as flexible as possible.
Yeah. When we had Amadeus come on, who was, our biggest guest to date, multi-platinum, producer, I asked him when he can come on. He was like, tomorrow, done.
Yeah.
Done. Let's get it going.
You're like, yeah, I hope you're free, Frank. I hope you're free tomorrow. I'm like,
yeah. So today's show would have been a very interesting show. And we're going to tell you what it was going to be, but we'll tell you right now that the show in today's spot is just going to be whether or not growing up, you got to deal with transitions, and financially, are you ready to deal with those transitions? I would say most people are not, Frank G. They are not financially stable.
At our age, you're saying?
Well, you have 3, I feel like, big transitions in life. Mm-hmm. High school to college, college to real world, and then that 28 to 32-year-old status where, you I guess, have a house, create a family, and make those financial moves. But before we get into that, the show that we originally was going to have is we were going to have a special guest called Sam Lister come on the show. And Sam is a video editor in which we were going to hire him potentially.
Potentially, yes.
We were going to have him come on the show. We were going to have him talk about his business, his agency. And then we were literally going to have a business meeting and negotiations on the show. And as salesmen, as business people, I thought the real-time present sales cycle would have been great content.
And not to mention that both parties get content in itself, us and him.
We get content. Yep. And the idea was, he'd be on the show. He'll understand the show. He gets the dynamics between me, you, and what we're trying to do with the show. And then he can create the editing and the content and the branding, the graphics for us to give us an example. And we would have had a set price and he would have had a sale on the show.
Yeah.
Now, what's ironic is that's called outsourcing, right? And outsourcing to anything when you're running a business, and a podcast in a way is essentially a business, is never good, because when you outsource it, again, you give them all the leverage.
Oh, yeah. You can't really depend. So obviously you have to have a plan B. This is plan B of the episode. So essentially, what were we talking about? I think Sam was in conversation for 2, maybe 3 weeks.
We were speaking with him, and then I came up with this idea to let's get this deal done on the show, on the podcast. And when you're outsourcing, the biggest thing you need is communication and accessibility.
Yes.
And this is one of the things you were going to ask him.
Yeah. So essentially, we set a time that's convenient for Sam. That was a few days ago, and just doesn't kind of show. It's like a no-show.
He doesn't show. We reach out to him 20 minutes before the show. We warned him, prepped him. We do that with every guest.
Yeah, and essentially we get a message, I think, 45 hour later. Yeah. Family emergency, yada, yada. So I had to take a step back. I mean, at first I was frustrated. I'm like, this is irresponsible. Now it's like, what if, do we need to cut him slack? or is this straight?
Because it's a family emergency and you can't technically
Pinpoint
indulge
it.
in that, right? Like you don't know the seriousness of it. However,
Yeah,
if I had a family emergency
your
and I
phone would
was
be on you.
scheduled, of course,
Yeah,
of course.
yeah.
But if I had something in my schedule book, I you have to reach out to these people.
Mm-hmm.
And not to mention, this is a business meeting. This is a business sale. He was trying to charge us $900 per month based on his services. Now that is a lot of money in particular the current climate that we are in. And we were willing to pay it. And now you just kind of lost the sale.
Yeah, I mean, he pretty much, it just doesn't seem like a business that is successful. I don't know. Obviously, we were kind of this was our first interaction voice wise for me and to him. So, you see how real people are. If you have a team, how legit, because obviously we needed to know all this before we throw down $900 all up front
I would have got him down to 550, but I hear what you're saying.
Yeah. I mean, I assumed we were going to get him down.
We were definitely getting him down, especially now that he know that he can't keep an appointment.
Yeah. So I just don't, in the sense of, do you cut someone slack? Because, like, what if he's so nasty and we missed an opportunity with someone?
Well, he did reach out and he did apologize. And he wanted to reschedule. Neither of us have made contact since. So now the ball is essentially back in our court. However, we in a way have a bad taste in our mouth, or maybe we're skeptical of the purchasing decision in general. So it's very interesting. However, if you're in his shoes, you contact this lead until I'm ready to buy.
He should be recontacting us right now.
100%, especially when we are still discussing the matter. There's money on the table that he left, and I bet you he left it because he's not a natural salesman, and he could be embarrassed and awkward at this current time.
Yeah, so there's a chance he may never reach out again for that one purpose. And that's where I think we would have to come in, because we have to make him know we have to make him a little more comfortable.
Empathetic, of course.
Yeah.
Of course. And we would have. Or maybe now we can use this to ensure that we can get the price point from 900 down to about 550.
Yeah. I mean, this was, I guess, in our favor, because so we pivot. We're still shooting an episode. Sam, you're kind of on the episode, but not really.
Yeah, you could have been on the episode.
You could have been on. You could have used this for yourself as well.
Would have loved to have you, Sam.
Yeah. I mean, I checked.
Sam, we're not mad. Things happen. But we like clarity.
We're certainly not mad. Clarity is one of the most important things in a business when it's three people and we don't know you yet. So,
you got to be a team, a cohesive unit, getting ready to, make this cash money. And can't slack.
No, like you said in the beginning, we need to be able to reach you, and communication is the top priority. Accessibility and communication in any business, team-wise, is crucial.
And that was going to be today's episode of a real life sale/negotiation business meeting on a podcast, which one day I'm sure we'll bring to you, the listener. Now, on the second half of, I guess, this show, there's two things. One, I got to ask Frank G a very important question, and then I guess we can go into the transitions of life, and are you financially stable to actually handle these transitions in life?
Okay. Well, I am as ready as I can be for a blinded question, so
Frank G, you said you really had to take a shit before this podcast. I mean, how's that holding up? How's that holding up? How's that holding up, my guy? Do we need to pause and edit? Do you need to come back? Oh, we good?
So I'm doing pretty well. I mean,
Did it go away?
My stomach was up in the air, just tossing and turning. Right now, I'm good. Man.
Up in the air sounds right now. It's sitting in the chair, man.
It's sitting in the chair. I wasn't thinking about it. Thanks for bringing it back up.
Anytime. Look, man, I'm telling you, something hits different when the red light's on. And when you're live,
absolutely,
you're ready to rock. I guess apparently you don't have to shit no more, so I'm proud of you. So the 3 transitions of life, and thus I have came across, which transitions suck, man. I hate transitions.
I love the transition from
Nope,
high school to college.
That was one of my worst transitions. I went into a depression due to a supplement I was taking. My first girlfriend left me at the time. I'm leaving all my friends from high school, going to college. Like the whole situation sucked.
Well, let's tell. I mean, this wasn't a bad supplement. Let's make it clear. You were taking like a pre-workout, right?
Yeah. It was the hottest pre-workout on the market.
No HGH.
Oh, nah. Although there was some stuff in there that I don't think was approved, but there's a bunch of shit that's always not approved. And I do have a thyroid issue, so there was a counteraction between whatever was in this pre-workout supplement and my thyroid issue. So I see what you're saying, but that transition sucked.
So do you think it sucked because of? So it sucked because you fell into a depression, or it sucked because you didn't like the change of high school to college?
Well, when I think of this particular transition, I think of me being emotionally unstable, which is. So I guess the transition itself probably would have been nothing if my hormones were fine and I was able to deal with it normal.
But you were able to conquer that yourself, right?
Yeah. Well, I asked my parents to take me to a psychiatrist, and then I spoke to this asshole, and I swore to myself I'll never see one of those assholes again.
Probably because he's pushing prescriptions. That's probably why.
He was trying to push me Xanax, and I turned it down at the time. Yeah, 28 at maybe different times. But when he offered me, when we're talking and going through all these conversations and shit, the asshole called my parents in and then told them everything. I guess because I was 17 at the time. But I was just like, you motherfucker.
Oh, that's terrible.
You motherfucker.
Did he tell you he wasn't going to?
I don't think so. I'm thinking this is all cool, private, dandy, whatever. You know what I'm saying? And my parents thought I was taking HGH at the time, which is why my emotions was all fucked up. So, like, he calls my parents in, and he's like, well, he's not taking that. I'm like, what?
They like set this whole thing, set you up.
Yeah, I got set up when I was like 17.
Oh.
And look, I never understood anyway why people would want to use a psychiatrist. It doesn't make sense to me because they're being paid to listen to your problems, but there's no way they are empathetic to you and your problems.
And they also get paid more when they prescribe you something. So they're just trying to give you drugs.
I don't know how it works, but
psychologists can't give you drugs. So those
or counselors, yeah. But the idea just doesn't make sense to me. Where
I get
it. Maybe you care about one of the 40 patients you have, maybe even 10%, 4. But like, I don't. Yeah. If you need to talk to someone, go ahead, please.
No. No. There's absolutely nothing wrong with it. That's not what we're saying. Everybody is clearly different. But
of course. But I highly recommend you talk to your friends and family first.
That would be amazing if you have that support system. It would help you tremendously. Now it's funny you said we went through similar things at different transitions. So a transition that we didn't mention, I think, very young is also a transition into like first real schooling.
Yeah, sure.
So 2nd grade. The teacher told my parents that I had like an issue, like paying attention. They thought I guess I was.
You are such a nerd. She's dumb.
No, I wasn't good until 6th grade.
Yeah.
I really wasn't. No, I was pretty bad, man. I was like a bad kid. I hated school. I just hated school. And I went to the psychiatrist. The guy's like showing me I forget what the ink blot like things where you like, what do you see here?
Yeah.
And the guy pretty much.
I bet you if they ask you now, that'll be the same answer, boobies. What's this one? Boobies? This one? Boobies?
Well, I don't think I said boobies, but whatever I did say, he pretty much told my mom I needed to go on medicine. And my mom completely was like, absolutely.
Wasn't having that.
No, she said, absolutely not. Absolutely not. And then I think my dad just slapped me in the ass a couple of times, and that's it. I wasn't bad anymore.
Well, it's funny because we were talking about transitions and how financially impactful they could be, but yet we're going, I guess, to mentally, which is important as well.
Very important.
It's important to I
Well,
mean,
I had no
I
money
guess,
in second grade. I'll tell you
yeah,
that.
man, yo, I was hustling them Gatorades and candy, baby.
I mean, I did
But
that in high school.
man, I did that when I was young. But I think the first major mistake people make
Get in a car.
getting a car. It is by far the number one mistake I think from people the age 18 to about 23 make. They buy
Like you're saying, not a brand new car. You're saying, really?
I mean, it doesn't have to be brand new. It's just very easily living above your means. I mean, look, the average person right now probably would struggle handling my car bill, which is the cheapest car bill you can get. It's like $240 plus $3,000 insurance a year. So now you're talking about almost $6,000 per year.
Yeah, cars are they're a money pit anyway. I mean, something goes. I guess when
Yeah.
you lease it could be better, but if you buy a car anyway,
it's all debatable, right?
Yeah.
But when I was a kid, like I've seen so many people make this mistake. They buy a bumping ass car. They even hook it up, put more money in it when they have to give it back, and a lot of times they'll crash it. Oh man, problem. They don't fix the mistake until 27.
I could have bought it, but I rented it.
My boy is singing Rod Wave. He's on the Rod Wave.
Yeah,
wave.
I was I guess fortunate. I took a hand-me-down truck in college. I mean, I took the bus throughout high school, throughout 2 years of college. I just wasn't a thing for me. I had my license. I just wasn't a thing. I kind of just was like, I'm not going to spend, $8,000-$10,000 on a used car right now.
Yeah, but people could still make that mistake when you're 30, right? I mean, dude, it's very easily like my favorite car is probably a Lexus, this specific color. It would cost me $500 a month to afford that car. You cannot afford that. That is half a mortgage payment.
Yeah, no, I mean, you need to be in a certain like bracket for that to be feasible. It's silly if you if you buy that and it's something that you need to like stress over. It's silly.
So 1% of 25 to 29-year-olds have $80,000 or more in their bank account in the U.S. 1%.
I guess at that age, that's the 1%. Like when
Correct. Even if you have $80,000 in your bank account at 28 years old, and you have a job making $110,000 per year, you probably still cannot afford a $500 a month Lexus payment.
Yeah, I guess that goes back to just what's important to you. I mean, that doesn't really. I mean, I was watching a video the other day on.
I see what you're saying, and that's a good point. But cars better be one of your favorite things in the world. If that's the case.
Yeah. I mean, you bet. I guess then you better be at shows all the time.
That's your passion. Bet. I better be coming over and you're watching Jay Leno's garage.
Yeah, well, I saw Jeff Bezos, a video of him from 1996, and he was already a billionaire at this point, and he was driving around a Honda. His office didn't look like it was new. And the guy's like, "You're about a 9-10 billion revenue right now." He's like, "What's with the Honda?" And he just laughs. He's like, "This is a perfectly good car."
Man, that's my way of thinking right there. In fact, that's got to be cool to rep some old nostalgia shit.
Knowing in your mind that you could have 1,000 of these.
I almost want to rep that now. I want to rep the jeans I wore 10 years ago. Fuck it.
Well, what's someone similar? Ludacris has his first car he ever had. He's got it has
so does Russ.
Yeah, he says that
his first car.
He'll always keep his hoopty.
Now, he also hits on some floozies. But I think the second. And I feel like I'm missing one here because I always know that there's 3 mistakes people typically make.
Something about school?
Well, that does make sense. Yeah, you're right. School is definitely a mistake that many people make. Unless you know your specific field.
Yeah.
Where you need this.
as in a sense of if you're going
Doctor,
to
like you're
yeah,
like you're going to be a psychiatrist.
if you're going to a school and paying $50,000 to do a liberal arts for 2 years because you don't know what you want to
Shot.
do, yeah, you're shot.
You're shot. You're shot. All you're doing is accumulating debt. And then when you think that you come out and you're making six figures, I hate to break it to anyone listening. Six figures is nothing. It's dog shit. It means nothing. If that is your goal and if you're trying to make six figures in 1 year, you need a new fucking plan.
Yeah, I agree with that. Certainly.
Six figures, you can't afford a nice car. You can't afford a house and a dog.
And you have $200,000 in debt, so you probably can't afford too much.
Yeah, yeah. If you're coming out of school and you have $60K in debt, I don't even know how to do the math because I never even had student loans. But I would imagine $60K probably wouldn't even be that bad. You could probably pay off $10K per year, $20K per year. But think about it: your $100K salary is now theoretically $80 for the next 5 to 6 years.
Yeah, and I mean, if you chose doctor, there's so many fees that you paid with your license. You got to, it's just a lot.
Insurances, yeah, crazy. So that is definitely a mistake people tend to make. And then also you have home ownership or people moving out of their parents' home when they're not ready, stable, or financially intelligent enough to manage their money to understand budgeting. I don't understand. Budgeting is the easiest damn thing in the whole world that 80% of people can't do.
Yeah, and I've seen probably a few people in my life that have moved out, and then I've seen their faces just cringe, like what they realized they got themselves into. They didn't need to move out, or like they just didn't.
They feel
plan
like
it.
they're ready. They think that they're independent now, and that shit's gonna get easier.
It's gonna make them. They think they're gonna grow up and be more mature just because they have their own bills.
No, in fact,
you learn that before you get the bills.
Oh yeah, that real life stress. That one, I haven't felt that one yet. Yeah, I haven't felt that real life stress. I'm trying not to. I'm trying to save up my pennies this way. I really ain't stressing when everyone else is. But budgeting, I don't understand. If you know you make $2,000 net per month, and you have an $1,100 rent or mortgage payment, and then you have a $200 payment. Now you're at $1,300, and you know that it's $100 a week for food. Now your $1,300 is at, what am I at, $1,700?
Yeah.
Now you have $300. Now you gotta save some. You gotta put $100 on the side. I know. Yeah. I hear you. And now this only leaves you $200. $100 probably to go to like the bars for the month, or whatever consumables you want to do, and then you have $100 to I don't know. I don't know. But it's so easy. It's black and white.
I mean, you literally grab your pay stub, look at the amount, and then go process what you do throughout
what your expenses
week.
are.
Yeah,
but bro, people can't understand this.
Yeah,
I had ex-girlfriends ask me, "Could you create me a budget list?" And then I create it, and they don't even look at it.
Well, that goes back to no one listens unless they pay you, and
oh yeah, nobody listens to your advice unless they pay you straight up.
And she's an ex-girlfriend, I guess,
So she didn't listen to me twice.
Yeah.
I tell you right now, she most likely is struggling during this pandemic due to budgeting issues.
Well, I mean, hopefully that changes, right? We don't want anybody we're not wishing anything bad on anybody.
Oh yeah, no, everybody eat, just not at my table.
Yeah.
I want that filet mignon and red wine, kid.
We may have a puppy eating at our table.
Yeah, I'm hoping tomorrow, me and you, we go and we grab little Ciroc boy in the house.
It'd be nice, man. It'd be nice to get.
It would be nice. I don't know what to name it. Like if it's brown, like I like to name Dutchie.
Dutchies. I like Dutchie. If it's a girl, Dutches, I guess.
Yeah. Duchess. That's a tough one because it sounds like Duchess, but it's got to be Duchess. But like, yeah, I see the problem there. I like rosé for a girl, man.
Roses, I like that name a lot. I guess you just you'll feel it out when the puppy's jumping all over you, smiling, happy, barking.
Yeah,
And
I hope so.
that name will just hit you, and that's it.
Yeah, well, you know what? I mean, look, you know me as a
So
Ciroc boy. So if
yeah,
Ciroc boy dog, he may bring me the Ciroc sponsorship I've been looking for.
yeah. Now, just to relate this to the episode, this is the first dog that Chris is purchasing. A dog could potentially also be a mistake at a young age, not realizing the
Facts,
expenses,
facts,
not realizing how often you have to walk it, how often you have to feed it, and how shots and yada yada.
responsibilities.
Yes.
Yeah. This dog, right off the bat, if we bring him or her home tomorrow, I'm down 4Gs.
Yeah. So this is another thing that if you do too early, it's certainly a lot of thought. A lot of thought. It's pretty much a kid.
Yeah. Well, listeners, I'm sure we're over our time here. I appreciate you listening, and I may be a father, and I will keep you involved.
And let's all try and be disciplined on these transitions in life. Thank you guys for tuning in.